the voice in your ears and the face on your screen. I'm Perfect Service. This is So Ball Sweden. Welcome to season 2 of Talking Football in Sweden. Feel free to comment messages about how we're doing. Love to interact with you guys. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Jalo Juice. What up, Juice?
What is up? What's good?
Just another day. Just want to throw the shout out again, guys. We're currently looking for sponsors, donations, and staff to help keep the podcast going throughout the entire season. Please send all inquiries to profootballsweden@gmail.com or hit the DMs on Instagram. The PFS podcast is available everywhere you listen to your podcast, and you can see us visually here on YouTube. Wherever you listen or watch, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Now, let's talk some football. Here we go. All right. So, first down, energy from the weekend. I guess we want to start with negatives so we can end with positives. Juice, what was your negative from this weekend?
There's some good plays, but let me give you an example.
Okay.
Running back number 19 from Icor,
I think his name's Abana.
he got tangled up in the backfield. Huh?
I think it's Abana. I think his name is Abana.
Oh, my bad. I thought you was communicating something to me. But anyways, let me go back into what I'm talking about. Number 19, Abana, last name. First name to go to N. Got tangled up in the backfield. Had a free lane to bust through and make one cut of the middle of the field and just go for what? Almost 90 yards. Then put the juice on the field. And it was like one of it wasn't a penalty because they had a few penalties early in the game. Then there was another guy. Let me get his right name it was for Stockholm. I think his last name, no. It wasn't. It was number 20 for Stockholm. He caught a punt return, had a wide open lane too to put a move on the kicker, and did not do it. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? What's up with the juice? What's up with the juice? It's only like if Örebro played, they got the juicy players. Örebro's like the only team with juicy players, but that's my negative is that I'm not seeing juice when there's so many juice availability to make, you know? That's my negative.
I'm a pass on negative this week. I don't have any negatives. I felt like it was a good weekend, man. I'm gonna go positives. I got some positives to say here. I got a couple of things I'm gonna say too. I'm gonna keep it positive today.
Okay.
Positive. Karlstad won the game how they were supposed to win it. I think that's a positive. We've seen a lot of games where teams just don't play how they're supposed to play. Karlstad being one of them when they played against Örebro a couple weeks ago. But this game against Oslo, it went exactly how it was supposed to. They ran the ball, they passed the ball, they did whatever they wanted to. They didn't do too much, but they were consistent and efficient. I love that. That's good football. And then with the Limhamn and Copenhagen game, actually, I'm gonna skip that because that wasn't positive for me. There's a lot to be said from that. But positive thing
That should
no, I'm not doing a negative. I said I'm not being negative. I'm only gonna do positive. Positive thing is that I think I chose the wrong team. I chose the Towers based on the uniforms. But now that I saw Limham's purple on white uniforms, I mean I can't change my pick, but I would have picked Limhamn because I like their jerseys better. In the game, they were the much better team, but that's not what I'm worried about. I was just trying to see who had the better purple. Copenhagen, they have purple and white, but it's like it's a little too much text, like on the pants and stuff. Too many lines, I guess. I like how Limhamn is like simple, hard purple on hard white, big bold letters, and like not too much going on. They got the sponsors on the back. You gotta do what you gotta do for the money, but the sponsor print is kind of thin, so from a distance, it doesn't take away from the aesthetic. So with that, that's definitely a positive. And then I'm gonna go for my third positive because all the games were positive to me. It's been a positive weekend in Sweden, baby. You know what? I got four positives. Sorry. The third positive is that the AIK Stockholm game was everything I wanted it to be. I think I picked Stockholm to win, but last week, if you saw, well, the day before the game, if you saw the video that I shot, I was wearing an AIK shirt. I was telling them, I'm with you guys. I believe in you. And what they go out there and do, they got the dub. I am a good luck charm. So if any of these other teams out here, if y'all really want to, step your game up and get some much needed wins, send Purvis some merch. I'm a size large. I can fit into a medium if needed. And if you have an extra large, I can eat my way to being in an extra large as well. I'll also take snapback hats. I have pretty much all the teams in Finland snapback. Um, but outside of AIK, I don't really have any team gear. So, guys, send me some team gear. You need me to come to Sweden to get it? I can pick it up. Ain't no thing. I'll get somebody to hand it to me. We can do that. So I do think that was positive. That game, AIK played exactly how they needed to play to win, and I'm very proud that they won because I wore that shirt. And the last positive is it is Monday and the stats have been posted. That is the biggest positive. I almost forgot that. They have posted the stats on superserien.se. Congratulations. Now, with that being said, stats is for nerds, and I have not looked at those stats. But I know they're up there, and that's good on them. That's my positives. What about you, Juice? What's your positives?
Man, that was a mouthful by you, but man, I core uniforms. You talking about uniforms? Well, first of all, you talking about uniforms. And these people gonna be listening to this like he's basing our picks based off who looks better. Look
I
good, play
did.
good, huh?
Well, it was two bad purple teams, and I was like, I'm just gonna pick the one with the better jersey. That's all. Everybody else, I usually pick off of how the team is. But I like AIK's jersey
No,
too, though. I like it a
no,
lot.
I mean, I vibe with I core jerseys, but I didn't know they was gonna look that good in the white and black. They look really good. And Josh Hicks with the Jordan cleats, he looks smooth. Mm, he looks
I
smooth, but
I'm a
you know my
Max Lambert
positive.
guy. I think Max Lambert looked really
Yeah,
fly
man.
out there.
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
pauses you want to put
He
in
looks
there, I don't
legit.
care. He looks legit out there at
Look,
quarterback.
we're gonna get into the players in a little bit, but I keep it simple with my positive. It's a positive thing for the teams when we choose, or at least for myself, when I chose the team to win the game, no, lose the game, and they come out and get a dub. So negative by me, but positive by you by making me look wrong. So I get that to the teams, who's doing that. But other than that, I want to move on to who was balling this week in the second quarter.
All right, hitting the second quarter. Top performers brought to you by Ballers International. Let's talk about last week's games and some guys that stood out to us. Juice. I don't know why I said Josh. Oh, the name here says Josh. Juice, take it away. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. A few weeks ago, it was like if you had a V in your name,
Mm-hmm.
you was balling. If you have a J and a O and a S and a H and your name is Josh, you was balling this week. We got two Josh from IE Core that was balling. I mean, Josh Akina, that's my guy. I don't like to give too much credit because it's too easy to give credit to people who are your friends. But I gotta give some love to Josh Akina. He was balling. He wasn't the guy from the TV show, the pretty boy who tried to impress him shorty. He was out there balling. He was out there balling. And Josh Hicks, oh my gosh. I don't know if you in the weight room all of a sudden. Last year he was stiff on him. I think he's just bouncing off of tackles and just having a day. I mean, he looks good with the ball in his hands and he's so physical as well. Max Lambert, IE again, another IE player. I got to get love to. He balled out. He looks like a true. He looks so comfortable as a Swedish quarterback playing in the high league. You know, in the past, we haven't really seen great Swedish quarterbacks outside of Philip Julin doing it as a Swede American. Um, of course, I gotta give love to Slade Jarman. You know, if you look at Carlstad's stat sheet, it's not like one of the receivers is popping out with crazy stats this game. He's just spreading the ball out. He does a great job being a leader, a general, yeah, facilitated general captain on the football field, and you can see it with the signals. And I don't know what's up with this this thing right here. I seen a few guys on the ELF. It might be some type of dance, but I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. I got it. Somebody got to give me hip to that because I ain't hip at all to that thing right now. But I do want to give out a shout out. I do want to get out a shout out. It wasn't crazy stat to my boy Pontius for Limhamn Griffin. Got much love for Pontius. He was a quarterback in Helsingborg, and he led the team in receiving yards for Limhamn Griffin. So I got to give a shout out, and I'm done with that for my ballers of the week.
For me, I don't have a lot of ballers because I would have said all the same guys that you said. I was with AIK all weekend, baby. They did great things. Anybody named Josh, you him. It is what it is. I'm going to add on to what I saw. First of all, Josh Akina, stop smacking folks like that because that's unnecessary. From the very beginning of the game, he was hitting people. I'm watching the game on my laptop, and my wife won't admit to it, but she could probably hear me over here going, "Ooh, because that's how I had to react in real time. Like, how people do LOL, but they don't actually laugh out loud. Like, I was actually like making noises when this dude was hitting people because it was that like visceral. So that was just impressive to see, especially because when I think of Josh Akina, I think of like an old man that shouldn't be playing. So I'm wrong about that. Definitely prove me wrong. He out there giving folks the business. And then to add on about Josh Hicks, not only has he been in the weight room, this man was breaking tackles, ankles, and probably was breaking hearts. I don't know. Maybe he does that in his free time, but it was ridiculous how much of a man that he looked compared to everybody on Stockholm's defense. Which Stockholm's defense, y'all got some issues over there, guys. Because
number 33, number 33 from Stockholm got working his tackle.
Look,
last name was Bird.
Yeah, just to throw it out about that game, I thought both offenses played well. Like, both teams had their share of turnovers, but on the defensive side, and this is why my top performers were actually going to be the AIK defense because they made turnovers and stopped the meme machines when it counted. Did they do it the whole game? Hell no. Honestly, they didn't. Like, there was at least 2 drives where the meme machines did it to themselves, but they stayed out there, had tough red zone defense. Josh Akina's interception, we should talk about that because I felt like Brandon Gwinner had no respect for that because they replayed the pass and it's like you threw it like right at him, like 2 inches above him, like he wasn't gonna jump. And Josh went two-handed, soft-handed that thing and took it back a couple of yards. And I'm just like, that was disrespectful to throw it, but at least Josh made that play. And that's what AIK kept doing in this game. They kept making the plays. And they really went, in my opinion, from little brother to, I guess, middle child. Because you're still little brother to Tyresö. It went down how it went down. You gotta get some get back. But
they went to stepbrother.
Yeah, they're the middle child of Stockholm area now because in that game, I saw that they won the game before I watched it. And as I was watching, I saw them go down. And I was like, oh, this is different. I thought, like, I already had my preconceived notion that I was going to say, yeah, they didn't play little brother this time. They got ahead and then they won the game how they were supposed to. But no, they had to fight through adversity and score. And again, watching this game was very exciting for me because it was like real football. It was very emotional for me, like watching both teams go back and forth. And then there was a lot of big plays, but the biggest play was not even a defensive play from AIK. It was from another guy. His name is Josh, but he that dude, Max Lambert, on 4th and 18, quarterback draw to score the game-winning touchdown. The boldest call I've ever seen, but then the best execution I've ever seen. Because you just don't call that 4th and 18, you're in the red zone, quarterback draw. AIK calls it. Max does his thing, breaks tackle, scores a touchdown. At that point, I was like, they can't lose this game. It's not gonna happen. And the cherry on top was them making the extra point after they missed so many extra points. And that's how I knew that it was destined for AIK to win this game. So my top performers is the AIK team. So glad you guys won that game. I'm probably going to pick against you for next week, but that ain't got nothing to do with this week. Y'all did great against the Mean Machines. We got to do that. That's it for top performers. Let's move on. All right, Super Serien teams are back in action this weekend with the Örebro Black Knights versus the Oslo Vikings. Then they have K-Town Predators versus Limhamn Griffins, and also there will be AIK versus Tyresö Royal Crowns. Let's hop into the first matchup. And see what the keys to victory are for Örebro versus Oslo. Let's go with Örebro first, Juice. What do you think they got to do to win this game?
You know, as I've been preaching for Örebro to do all season, and they finally did in a game where they beat the former number one team, called the Crusaders. Their offense has to play completely balanced. You know, in the sense of they're doing a great job running the ball. They need to make sure they catch the ball. If they catch their top receivers catch the ball, they dominated almost every team. Because Jacob. JB
from
Czech,
the running back.
He's that guy. You know what I mean? He's that guy. Throwing in the Janssen, one of the Janssen brother, Philip, you know, in the backfield, mixing them in. You know, that's cute, things like that. But the main thing they got to do offensively is catch the ball. And I think that's one of the keys to victory. Defensively, you know, if they put Will Sewell in the backfield, you know, corral him, put pressure on Dre, the quarterback, keep him moving, get him tired so that he's not a factor with his legs. You know, those are my keys to victory for Örebro, offensive, decent, and defensively.
Yeah, for me, it's very simple for Örebro. Offensively, just keep doing what you're doing. Even if they drop passes, they have enough firepower to score on the Vikings defense. It's just not that good. And then on the defensive side, pressure the quarterback. Make him make bad throws, and you should be fine. I think they have the ability, the talent to do that. Shouldn't be too much of a contest from the other side. So moving on to the Vikings, what can the Vikings do to pull an upset here and beat Örebro, who they didn't beat them last time, but they did beat them last year. So they know what it's like to beat them.
Yeah, so I think Oslo Vikings has the players. They have the ability to be a good football team and win games. They just, I don't know if they missing. Oh my gosh, Lord forgive me for forgetting coach name because Derek Mann.
Derek Mann.
I don't know because he's not a part of it. I mean, he's probably somewhat a part of the organization. I don't know to what limits, but bring Derek back. You know what I mean? But offensively, you know, I mean, Dre's probably gonna have to do a lot more with his legs, and he's probably gonna have to do. I said, dude, he's gonna have to spread the ball to his playmakers. Of course, you know, I'm speaking quite basic, you know, with these things, but I think basic football is the things that they need to do. You know, plus him using his legs. He's going to offensively. They're gonna have to do a great job picking up Örebro's blitz packages. Örebro does a phenomenal job, you know, blitzing the ball, disguising and things like this. They're gonna have to do a great job at that. So if their O-line play can do pretty good. Dre use his legs, plus sprinkle getting the ball into Will Sewell's hands. I think they can be fine. Of course, they have Fingler, and they also have Neatgord. You know what I mean? Get the ball into your playmaker's hand. Defensively, that's where I think the tough point going to be for you guys. If you guys keep the ball in front, probably do a little bit of tugging, keep the receivers from not catching the ball, maybe get in their heads. Just go off the momentum whatever momentum that you guys have to go off of. If that's talking trash, tugging a little jersey, do what you got to do to win a game.
I mean, I don't know how important it could be, but I guess if you were like talking shit to them in Norwegian, maybe they wouldn't understand, and that could kind of mess with them a little bit. Call them
Nah,
some
they gonna
words and
understand.
stuff.
They gonna understand.
Or they can. I don't know. I don't know how close the languages are.
It's damn near the same thing.
Mm. Well, trash talk is trash talk. Maybe you do it in Norwegian, or maybe you do it in Swedish, just to get inside their head. Play a chess game. I like that. That's a good plan. For me, I'm gonna go with for the Vikings to like really compete in this game. They're going to play complement football, and when I say complement football, their offense is going to have to do more than enough to keep their defense in the game. Defensively, they're outmatched. It is what it is. But offensively, they have tools and weapons on that offense. There's ways that they can limit how much pressure is getting to the quarterback. They can hold the ball for longer on drives and keep their defense off the field and force Örebro's offense into a we got to score mentality, which will probably lead to a couple of drop passes. Maybe think Vic might get a little rattled because he's forcing throws because they need to score. So it really comes down to Oslo's offense. If you're going 3 and out, you're getting pressure. Dre's having to run the whole time. That or Brew's in control, and you're not going to be able to get much done. But if you're able to, move the ball around to your different playmakers, come up with a couple of big plays, third down conversions are going to be key to staying on the field. If you're able to do that and get to that fourth quarter and still be within striking distance, you got a chance. Because I agree with you that they have players that can play in this league, and they have a team that can win in this league, and they have the team of players that can win this game. Like they match up well against Örebro overall, but it's going to take a lot of like work from the offensive side of the ball. I wouldn't go as far to say they need Derek Mann back. I mean, that's saying a lot because the team still does pretty well, but I agree that they need something. They're missing something that like to get that edge so they can get over the hump and start getting W's instead of L's. But that's how I feel about it. I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup. But you know how I feel. Who's going to win? Next matchup: K-Town Predators versus Limhamn Griffins. Let's start with K-Town. What do you think they got to do to get a win this week? You're muted.
We check the men. Kristianstad, they need to do what they have been doing recently. Balling out, spreading the ball offensively, defensively, get turnovers. Right now, I know this game is a little bit tough, with this rivalry down there in the south. But I think if they just played the football that they've been recently playing, hopefully they didn't take too much of a break chilling over this bye week. I think they just need to show up and play the same football, same style of play that they're doing. Don't do anything different. You gotta be all right.
Yeah, I agree. I would say for K Town, just don't be emotional. Don't let this. I know it's a rivalry, but don't let it be a rivalry. Make it a. I'm gonna go with this saying again. Make it a big brother, little brother. You the Predators are the better team. They're the more talented team this season for sure, and they should win the game. But because of that like rivalry instinct, there's the opportunity that they play not their best game the against the Griffins, or the Griffins, they play a better game than they normally play. Like there's a chance of that happening, and for the Predators to really win this game, they need to get that out of there, get that emotion, that rivalry mindset get that out of your head and win a football game. And when I say that, I also mean when you guys are doing y'all celebrations, can we get some better celebrations? Like I see just a lot of gyrating, and I just don't understand. Like you're like I guess it's the TikTok era, but I want to see some choreography. Can I get some in sync bye at the end zone or something? Can I get 5 people in a canoe rowing or something like some artistry from these celebrations? Because the whole like I'm just shaking my whole body to do something. It, it's giving me the ick. Okay, it is. But moving on to the other team, Limhamn Griffins. What do you think they have to do to get a W this week?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Last year, Limhamn sweep Kristianstad, yeah?
I have no idea. Maybe
Yeah,
sounds
I mean,
about right.
yeah, because I remember I think we all probably chose Kristianstad to win, and Limhamn won the last game again. But anyways, Limhamn, I just think, you guys got to get hey, we the king of the south of Sweden. Uh, do whatever type of psychological thing that y'all need to do in your praise that y'all do every time to beat Kristianstad and be the dominant team in Skåne. Y'all the king of Skåne. That's it, and that's all I got to say.
I don't have much for the Griffins. I think they're a little bit outmatched in this game. I think to win this game, you've got to stop the Predators from scoring. You got to keep their amount of scoring down. I'm not sure you can do that, and I don't know how you can do that in this matchup. I haven't seen much from that Griffins defense that makes me think that they're capable of stopping it. But if they have something I haven't seen, pull it out. Let me see it. That's what you're going to do to win. You have to stop them from scoring a lot of points. They're a 40-point offense. You need to keep them down to like 19. What do you got, Juice?
Now I was gonna say, man, Alexander Nishik, he was balling out like crazy last year. I think they got to figure out a way to get him back involved. Because I looked at his stats recently. Um, he barely got over 50 yards against the Towers. So they need to get him involved because they still got a playmaker
Oh,
in him.
you're talking about number 6, right? That's number 6.
Yeah, number six. Number six.
I only know. I'm sorry, guys. I know numbers. It's just hard. That's something I actually wrote in my notes. Limham used 4 running backs in the last game. 4 running backs. They used number 5, number 6, number 20, and number 26. Now, number 26 came in at like I think towards the end of the game, kind of got the cleanup duty. But
Mhm.
they earlier in the game, number 5, number 6, number 20 were constantly rotating. I originally wrote 3 running backs. That is a crazy amount of backs to use when you're not running that much. And they weren't running that much. And like you said, they didn't really utilize number 6 like I thought they were going to. They kind of relied on number 5 this season, or in this game at least. And he did well, he did okay. But it's one of those things where you kind of got a thoroughbred back there. And he's one of those guys that he can also play slot. And
Yeah,
they
they
just
just get the ball in his hands. Throw some bubble screens. He's a playmaker when the ball is in his hands.
matter of fact,
Wildcat they did last year with him, like
I was like, yeah, last year that he threw a couple touchdowns, so it's possible like he could do a lot for you, and they just haven't utilized him. That's something. Yeah, you're right. If they utilize him in this game, it might be a difference maker for him. So let's move on to that last game, man. AIK versus Tyresö. What do you got for AIK to get a dub?
man, it's an exciting game. I mean, I think if they come into, I know a lot of times I keep saying the same philosophies about the mentality, because this is also a new rivalry in the same area as Stockholm. Now, I just think that ICOR just need to play to the same level that they played against Stockholm, but just a little bit more. I think Stockholm did drive the ball quite easily down the field against them several times in this last game. But I think if they can just capitalize on just scoring more points, like I think if they want to win this game, last time they played against Tyresö, it was there's only one touchdown from a team. I think they got to score at least 3 touchdowns. So if y'all can score at least 3 touchdowns, y'all got a chance at winning this game. But I do think that this game, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit more later with score predictions or something like this. But I think if they can at least manage to score 3 points, 3 touchdowns, utilize Josh Hicks, because I've been saying this all the time, get the ball in playmaking hands. The other outside receiver, I don't know if it's number 7 or number 9, but put the ball in those boys' hands.
Yeah, I think for my advice for AIK in this game would be to kind of repeat what you did against Stockholm, because that's really what the difference was. You played very similar. I said it when they played against Tyresö last time that they played better than Tyresö. And that whole like, oh, well, we didn't get the extra point. That's not why they lost. I mean, they lost because they kept giving Tyresö opportunities to stay in the game. And what they did against the Mean Machines is that when the Mean Machines had opportunities to stay in the game, they took those opportunities from them and didn't allow them to stay in the game. They took away points. They made sure the Mean Machine didn't have the ball too much on offense. That made the Mean Machine press. They did a very similar thing with Tyresö when they played them the last time. They were going back and forth. Neither team was really getting much, and their offense actually was moving the ball. And one thing that they have issues with is offensively they have a lot of penalties, have a lot of runs and catches that get taken back because of undisciplined play up front. You got to get that fixed in this game. In this game, you can't. I'll say it. I think I've said it a couple times this year is that Tyresö is the most talented team in the league. And the reason I say that is they're the only team that can win a game without scoring an offensive touchdown. And that's what they did against AIK last time. DV got a pick 6, and that's how they win the game. Things like that happen when you have so much talent that the numbers game plays out. If you're playing a team like Tyresö, they have so much talent, eventually it's going to break their way. And what AIK has to do is not allow that break to break them. You got to, like what Alpha said, score enough points that, okay, maybe they got a lucky interception and they get in the red zone, they get some points, but it doesn't matter because you're up by 2 touchdowns. So they're still pressed. But if you go into the fourth quarter, it's 0-0 against Tyresö, or 6-7 or 7-7 against Tyresö, that's where they want to be. They want to be one big play away. They don't want to be, we have to work our way back into the game. So AIK has to take away any hope. You got to take away any hope from this team if you want to win this game. That's the only way they're going to win it. And yeah, that's what I got for them. So flipping to the other side, what can Tyresö do to win this game, Jallo? You're muted.
Sorry.
Still.
Yeah.
Right.
Excuse me. Check the Ian. Men. Number 1, defensively, Tyresö needs to play a very physical football. They need to put pressure on, Max, get him uncomfortable and contain him. Luckily, Tyresö linebacking core is really good, and their DBs are really good. I think they're gonna have to figure out a plan to circle Josh Hicks on their game plan. But the thing is, most of these DBs probably are so familiar with Josh Hicks because he played with them last year. Maybe that's the reason why Josh Hicks didn't go ham against them last year. I mean, his last game. But more importantly, their defense is going to have to definitely lock in, create turnovers again, to make sure that they, Ioko's offense don't put up a lot of points, because Ioko's offense is very capable of putting up a lot of points, but will they do it all the time? That's up to their game plan. Number 2, on the offense side of the ball, I think that last time they played, I think I seen Double V, starting to get a little bit active a little bit too late in the game. That got to happen a little bit here. I forget homeboy number 4. Love the guy, crazy athlete.
Starts with a D. It's like Dion or something. Or
yeah. I think they got to get him in the mix too. He got some little bit of finesse to him, and yeah, I mean, to be real, it's going to come down to Jay just leading them the right way offensively, because he's also a general on the field. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. you know, he just put the ball in the right people's hands when the opportunity is available for him.
Yeah, I think you're talking a whole bunch of hogwash over there, man. I'm sorry. Call it like I see it. Hogwash. Yeah, I'm a little bit country. Hogwash. That's what that is. Because I think we got to be realistic about what happened the last two times these teams played. The last
Be
time, which was
realistic.
just a few weeks ago, what was it 2-3 weeks ago that they played? It was very recent.
I think it
They
was
just
last
played.
game, last week,
Yeah, like 2
maybe.
weeks before. Yeah, 2 weeks ago they just played each other. So not a lot has changed in that time, except for we saw AIK beat SNM. I mean Stockholm, and we think that that changes things. It doesn't. I'm sorry. Um, Josh Hicks was great against Stockholm's defense. Stockholm's defense, Swiss cheese, full of holes. That ain't Tyresö defense. Tyresö's secondary is probably the best secondary in the league. Them and
Mhm.
Örebro can easily fight for that. You know who's the best secondary in the league, and they had no problem shutting Josh down when they played in that game against them. Josh had a couple of big play. He had that one long run where he didn't score, and that
Yeah, he got
cost them
hard.
because he's the only person that can score for that offense against Tyresö. Their run game non-existent. They weren't able to run against Tyresö, and that's what Tyresö has to do. Just replicate the game. The only thing that Tyresö did bad last time, their defense played great. Their defense played well enough to win. Their offense did not score. Tyresö's offense did not score. It's one of the most talented teams in the league, and their offense scored no points. I blame the offense. You got double V back there. You got number 4 center coming in. You got Hayward
That's
at
up.
Hayward quarterback.
Yeah.
Those guys need to make plays. If they want to win this game, defense, keep doing what you're doing. DV, I think he might be leading the league in interceptions right now. Keep doing what you're doing. They were able to stop the vertical threat of Josh Hicks last time. AIK had to do a lot of like bubbles and screens to get Josh the ball. He wasn't able to get downfield and get busy like he wants to, Josh Hicks. And that's okay. That's okay. That's what you want. You want him staying behind the line of scrimmage where you can see and run to him. And I think Tyresö does fine on defense. Their defense is great. They're going to do okay. AIK's offense isn't built to score on that defense. But on the other side, Tyresö's offense is built to score on AIK's defense. AIK's defense is not great. It's good. Like I said last week, they made some really timely turnovers, and that's what they have to do to win this game. But on Tyresö's side, make big plays like you do. You have one of the best running back combos in the league. Double V, he's a beast. Make sure he gets the ball when he needs to. Number 4, make sure he gets the ball. Jay at quarterback, make more plays. Plays to be made in that last game where it seemed like he let the offense run instead of him running the offense. And I think that's one thing that we're going to see in this game. If Jay is who you say he is and who I think he is, he's not going to take the line down what they did last time, and he's going to take charge of the offense and make sure they put up points. And if that's the case, it's a wrap, and y'all will be fine. But if y'all go in there, half-assing, you might be in the same situation that Stockholm was in last week, where at the end of the game, big brother, little brother, AIK, I mean, they nuts hanging now. You got to remember that. They just beat Stockholm, so they nuts hanging now. They feeling themselves. That confidence, it's going to exude into this week. Tyresö got to cut that and just play great offensively, and they'll be fine. Defensively, they're going to be fine no matter what. If they don't put points, it becomes a game that AIK wants. AIK wants to be in the game. They want to be in the conversation. Even when they lost to Stockholm earlier in the season, they lost to very closely to Stockholm. And I had people sending me messages about, yeah, we almost beat them. We should be ranked here. Da, da, da. Like that's what they want. They just want to be in the conversation. Tyresö, you need to take them out of the conversation. That's what you got to do to win. I'm sorry if that sounds harsh. I'm still, rooting for AIK to be a great team.
To be
But
a good team, you said?
great team, not a good team. Good teams are ass. A great team. You know who AIK used to remind me of? They used to remind me of the Warsaw Royals. But
Oh
after
my
beating
God.
Stockholm, I put more respect on their name than the Royals.
Whoa.
Because they've done something. But that's a conversation for American football in Finland. So we'll talk about that next week. Y'all check us out.
Just know that Vaasa Royals beat the championship football team in Finland last year. Just saying. We beat the Roosters last game of the season.
In the championship?
No, they were the championship team, and we beat them.
So you beat them in a game that wasn't for the championship. They still got a championship. You got a win that nobody's going to remember except for you. That's Vaasa Royals for you. There you go.
Let's move on.
Congratulations. Just being mid. All right. Okay, so we're gonna try to watch a video. Can you see the video?
I can see the video.
All right, so do your thing.
Oh, PI. And they did not call this. What do you think?
Oh, I gotta watch it again. So what happened? I'm watching.
So Brandon threw a slant to Matt Breslov, and you see it clearly on the replay. And I do respect number 11. 11 was having a decent day. He was having a decent day. But that was definitely
I think first of all, where it's paused right here, this ref, I don't know if you can see. I'm circling it on my screen. I don't know how to do that on this screen. Yeah, but that ref right there in the middle, he got to call that because he's the only one that can see it. The ref back into the end zone, he can't see that. He can't see where the player's hand is, but that ref is looking right at it. And then you see the player with his hands up like, oh, my gosh, how y'all let that happen?
All right.
It's craziness. But, yeah, I agree with you. That probably was pass interference. Do you think that would have changed the outcome of this game?
I mean, there could have been a touchdown on his drive because they didn't score on his drive.
Yep.
But I think Brandon fumbled the ball on his drive.
Yeah, he fumbled it right when he ran a couple times after. They went 0 for 2 in the red zone to start the game.
Yeah.
And that drive was one of them. Yeah. All right, let's go to
the first drive was beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, well, it was good. It looked good. Like, again, I didn't talk about it earlier, but when I watched the game, I really did not feel like either offense was really being stopped. Like, both offenses were just moving the ball. And then when they turned it over, a lot of times it was just quarterbacks making bad throws. It wasn't really like a defense like made a great play. Even when Josh Akina got his interception, why do you throw it at that guy? Like they were making some bonehead moves, but outside of those like kind of bad decisions, even
that pass needed a little bit more touch. It needed a little bit more touch over top of him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it was one of those passes where you're trying to put a ball in a window because you're confident enough that you could do it. Max did the same thing. He threw an interception where legitimately you shouldn't have thrown the ball in there, but he thought he could put it in there. And that's the confidence you want from your quarterbacks. But both teams did really good offensively outside of, those errant throws. But this definitely could have been – that was pass interference. But we have another play that we want to watch here on the show. Let me press this one and hope this is the right one. Let me see. Can you see this one? It's a punt return.
Oh, yeah. Here's the one I was talking about. I'm going to show you right here. He's supposed to put that boom on the cookie. He's supposed to put that move on him. And you can see a little bit better on the replay.
He's better than me because I would have just kept running straight. Cuts are for slow people. Leo Sundman.
Come on, Leo.
Let me watch it again.
Good job catching the ball. I don't even know who this guy is. He must be some young guy. Got one ball
right there.
Boom, boom. He could hit him with boom, boom. Or just
he missed though. He made him miss, but he slowed him down. He made him miss. He just slowed him down a little bit though, because he didn't make the tackle. Like, can I rewind this? Hold on. Let's see if I can. All right, let me press play here.
Yeah.
Hold on. Look.
Oh, somebody got crackback.
Yeah, that looked tough.
Ooh.
Like, it's like frozen or something. I don't know. But anyways, that was a good play. I like that. Let's go one more play. I only have 3 on here for some reason. I know you had 4. I just gotta remove this to get another one on here.
Oh, this the hit that Josh put on Sinai.
Oh, it's gonna look painful. Why you do that, man, like that? Tough. Josh Akina is a man. He is a grown man. You know what? I want to watch it one more time before we move on. I got the other clip up now too, so we can watch it. Look at that. Oh, that's the hit where I was like, oh.
Yeah. It's Sinai down there feeling. Hey, but much respect to Sinai. Like, he's one of my favorite new Stockholm receivers.
That's number 13, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I got a lot. I would love to see him come and play in Finland.
And old Vasa. All right, we got one more play. Let's see. What am I looking at now? The touchdown?
Oh my God. And this was the touchdown right before, like, pretty much halftime.
Oh, yeah. Was that right before? No, that was the one before halftime.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to play again. My bad. There's no replay?
Nah, it was no replay on this one.
Look at that. Beautiful.
You know, in D number 13 on defense, I know he's mad because he actually could have made a play on that one. He could have made a play on this play. He didn't. He right there in position.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You know, this is a coaching point. When you're a safety, you got to take your eyes off of the ball, run to the receiver. The quarterback is not throwing the ball to you. He's not throwing the ball to you. Run.
Unless you got receiver type, abilities, you become the
receiver. Still, because sometimes we all been there before. I ain't gonna speak for you, but I can.
I was gonna say, speak for yourself, buddy.
For most DBs, we like to run and be like, oh yeah, we got that, we got this. And like, oh shoot, the ball's actually further than what it actually was because I'm not supposed to be running this way. I'm supposed to be running like this, sprinting.
That's because you don't play outfielder, man. You got to play outfielder. Every time the ball in the air, it's mine.
You run the whole time with your eye on the ball.
Yeah, because I know where I'm going and I know where the ball's going.
That's not even safe because, like, in that position right there, you can run into your own defender.
He was in a bad position, though. You got to realize that too. Like, he was in a horrible position because even at safety, when the ball's in the air, you want to be coming downhill, not going backwards. The fact that he was going over and not up and over, that's why he had that angle. When he saw the ball release, if he would have took an angle like I'm going to the back of the fence, he would have ended up coming downhill on the ball instead of it going over his head. Again, that's just football, You gotta do what you gotta do. Because he still has time to get depth, and he never did. But yeah, that's that. I don't know what this segment is called, but I guess we'll just say this is our top plays. Is that what it was? Juice's top plays of the weekend?
Now, it was some notable plays that I thought needed to be recognized. I mean, we missed a few, but we don't got time to put all the plays in it. But moving forward, we'll get some more plays for you guys.
Yeah, and if you guys see some plays, leave us a comment, send us a DM. Send us a screen grab, and we can try to get it up here. We record on Mondays. So if the games are all usually on Saturdays, Sundays, send us something. We'll try to get it into the show on Monday. It's possible. We can do that.
Hey, screen record your video while you're on the bus going home, or you're on the pillow talk because you got a game in Stockholm. Send it to us right after the game. We get up here.
Yeah, we'll get it up here for sure. All right. We late, but this show has been a good one, guys. Let's get into our picks for the weekend. We'll have them available on Instagram at Pro Football Sweden, where you can make your comments. You don't need to send us anything in the DMs. Just make your comments on the Instagram feed. First game, Örebro Black Knights versus Oslo Vikings. Who do you have and why?
Örebro Black Knights, they just have Oslo Vikings outmatched.
I will say the exact same thing. They're just a better team. There's not a lot to say about it. Next game, K-Town Predators and Limhamn Griffins. Who do you have and why?
I want to say this is an easy win for the Predators, and I'm not going to pray it up and ask God about this one. I'm going with Kristianstad. I'm going with Kristianstad on this one. I just think that Kristianstad clearly has the tools. Everyone in the nation is thinking Kristianstad is going to win this game. They got to revenge that loss they have from the Griffins. But if I'm wrong on this one, I'm wrong on it. But I'm going with Kristianstad.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with them. Same reason for the other game. They're the better team. Like they should win. If they don't win, like, whew, it is what it is. Earlier in the season, you could always blame it on, we were young, we hadn't gelled yet, we hadn't figured out what we wanted to do or what we're going to be good at. But now both of these teams kind of know who they are, and everyone kind of knows the Predators are the better team. So they should win this game. Last game, AIK versus Tyresö Royal Crowns. Battle for Stockholm. Who you got and why?
Yeah, I mean, literally, whoever wins this one is probably leading the wins in Stockholm. That means that no. Tyresö hasn't lost a game in Stockholm yet, or maybe not at all. But anyways, I'm going with this is going to be a hard one to choose. Even though I-Core got them banging uniforms, I got to go with Tyresö. And the reason why I'm going with Tyresö is because I think that Tyresö has a complete defense, and I believe that defense is going to help them win this football game. I do think I-Core is going to definitely make some plays. If they can get some trick plays in there to get them to that 3 touchdowns I told them they need to get to, kudos to you. Bravo. But I'm going Tyresö.
I'm gonna go opposite of what I said earlier. I'm gonna go with AIK. I'm feeling good today. I'm nothing but positive vibes. I wish I would wear my AIK shirt, but I'm wearing the PFS shirt today. I'm gonna go with AIK because they need an ally, and I'm your ally. If you need one, I'm your ally. They can win this game, and honestly, it's one of those games where to win it, they have to will themselves to win. You need both Joshes, Hicks and Akina, to come out bussing. You might even want to put Hicks on defense a little bit. He played safety for Tyresö at the beginning of last year. I remember that. He can go out there and,
Yeah,
loose.
he might know the plays that's coming. He literally might like, hey, we ran that concept last year. They get.
If not playing on defense, maybe he's helping coach defense up this year this week, scout team wise, letting them know what could be coming. They need to throw the kitchen sink at them. This is not a game that you want to let be close and you lose again. It's a game where you want to say, hey, we run Stockholm. And I'm going with you this week. I'm going with you because you need an ally. Purvis is your ally. AIK, let's get that dub. Tyresö, still like y'all's uniforms, though. Actually, both of these uniforms are really good. This will be a good-looking game.
Yeah.
AIK going to be in the black. Tyresö going to be in the white.
Right? All white, probably. All white, too.
Oh, that all white is tough. But I'm still going to pick AIK because, they got that PFS. That's what colors we are, right? Just throwing that out there. We're rocking y'all colors already, so good luck to them. I think they're going to get the dub. That's who my pick is going to be. All right, let's get this last one. All right. Any last words before we get out of here for overtime? Anything you want to, chat on before we get out of here?
Yeah, it's just one thing, and it's something I mentioned last time separately. It's just like the road to playoffs. Cook Honstad could be a team to get in there, and this could be depending on how Stockholm and Tyresö and IK finish it out. This might be really hard because this a good solid 4-5-ish teams right there. That's really good. It's kind of how you think about the Maple League. It's clearly two teams that you think or at least there's one team that we know for sure is making it to the playoffs. And right now I just want to talk about the finish of Kristianstad and Stockholm season. Stockholm has to finish and play Tyresö 2 times, and need to play Karlstad. So that's a tough road already for them. And Kristianstad, it's only 3 after this week. It's week 9, then it's week 10. So it's 3 more games after that, and it's quite smooth for them. Kristianstad gets to play against Tyresö. We don't know how that's going to go. Kristianstad plays against Oslo, and Oslo is not on their best behavior this year. Then the last week they play against Copenhagen Towers. So
wow! So they're
they,
looking
they,
at
they might slip away with that. Stockholm is off this week. Then Stockholm in week 10, Stockholm play against Karlstad, and Karlstad defense is really complete, and their offense is definitely going to go. Their offense is so complete, they're going to definitely go through Stockholm. I'm already not going to put my future L in there for them, but we'll see how they do. Then Stockholm has to go to Tyresö. So this might be a year. The whole point I'm trying to say, this might be a year Stockholm potentially may not get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I would personally count them out after they lost to AIK because that puts AIK above them. But so I'm just trying to think of like the teams and the divisions. The way that it might look is that, as expected, when you look at the conferences, the East Conference is the Stockholm Conference, and it looks like 2 of those teams might make the playoffs, right? Like that,
Yeah,
this doesn't the math not gonna work out because if I think only one of them can make the playoffs because
maybe.
wouldn't Örebro and Karlstad get in too?
Right now, I'm looking at the chart right now. The 4 teams
Uh-huh.
that's in is Örebro, Karlstad, Tyresö, Stockholm, and Stockholm is pretty much tied with IK, and we'll see with the
And
Predators because
Predators. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So there's 3 teams basically. I'm just in general. There's 3 teams trying to get that 4th spot. 2 of the teams have to play each other or in the same division, and one of the teams is the Predators in what we would call the weakest division. That gives them the best chance.
mm-hmm.
That's how it's going to work out. I think that's how it's going to work out. And the Predators might make the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
the
on them, man.
Predators won their last 4 games. They got a good chance because other teams are going to have to play against each other, and somebody has to lose.
Exactly. That's right. I think that they're going to benefit from being in that division, the South.
Yeah, but Oslo could knock the Predators off. They're probably like, oh, we're gonna sleep on Oslo. Oslo's not as good. And Oslo, boom, Dre out there running for 300, and then they
Yeah.
haven't seen Will Tool.
And
Man, oh
we've
my
seen
God.
plenty of upsets, so it's possible. That's for sure. For me, my overtime, what was I gonna say? Oh, I just want to wish the Karlstad Crusaders good luck in the CFL. They
Oh
play
yeah,
against Tano
yeah.
Black Panthers this weekend, right?
Tino Black
So
Panthers.
yeah. So good luck to them. Hopefully that works out for them. I would like to warn them if they're listening that so far every time y'all played an international game, you come back and not played very well. Just throwing that out there. So just
when
keep a
they
sharp
when they
eye.
leave when they leave to go play.
The next week, they've had 2 weeks where they've played a game, a CFL, and they come back into the Sweden league, and they've played bad in those 2 games. Because I just remember thinking about both of them, like, oh, that's not the best they could play, and then like it looks sloppy compared to what they're usually playing like.
Yeah.
I think it was when they played the Vikings. It was close for a long time or something like that. I don't know. I just remember it in my head. I could be wrong, but
Hey, but I haven't done
anyway,
this. But I haven't done this before I go. I gotta welcome my boy Brandon Gwinner to the Super Series. It's my hug for you, bro. You know, I ain't gonna give you the kiss like how we know. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No pause. We don't do that. We don't do that. Just kidding. But we want to welcome my boy Brandon going into the league. He passed it to number 8. Unfortunately, it's not me, but Matthew Resloff. You know, he can be that guy for you.
I would also like to say welcome to the Swedish league, Brandon. But I just want to talk on what I saw from Brandon. Is that man looked damn good out there, quarterback. His arm strong as all get out. Still, he commanded the ball well. Obviously, he fumbled the one time the ball slipped out. I think maybe it's a different type of ball than what he was using in Marseille, but still, he looked really good and really impressive despite them losing the game. Again, I think that was more about AIK making plays at the right time than anything else. But if they would have had him a couple weeks ago, maybe their season would end a little different. I just don't think their defense is going to be good enough to really hold it
Yeah.
together.
Defense
Only
is
so much,
trash. That defense is
it's only
trash.
There's only so much you can do. But that's it for us this week on Pro Football Sweden. Good luck to all the teams this weekend, and we'll be back next week with more insights and opinions. Please like, follow, and subscribe on all social channels at Pro Football Sweden. See you next week.
Deuces.
Deuces. All right, press this button.